is everyone? Okay. I was going to get on and make the steer burgers again because I have a different way of doing the slaw, but I didn't. I just waited. So anyway, had to take my rings off because I was working in ground chuck. So I'm going to dehydrate some tomatoes because, hi Amy, hi Natalie, hi Shirley, hi Vivian, hi Vicky, hi Shirley, hi everyone. Glad to see you on here. But I got a deal on some tomatoes today, and they're Roman. So they are good for dehydrating, really good. Better than just the regular ones. So I'm just going to take a bowl and start chopping them, not chopping them up. I want them in like half slices. And tomatoes is the one thing that you do not have to, you don't have to, what do you call it, blanch them. So I'm going to go ahead and start. You see I washed them all up, the little beads of water on them, and put them in a strainer, and then put them in my wash pan so I could strain out all the water, which it's not going to hurt this, okay? So I'm just going to talk to you while I do these tomatoes. Let's cut that little end off right there. The reason I want tomatoes is I have tomato powder, and I want some tomatoes to throw in to things. I figure they'll be good. I've got powder made, yes. I got 2 pint jars of tomato powder, but I need to get me, you know, one of them little coffee grinders or ninja grinders. I used to have one of them grinder type shake things, but I don't have any, and I've been looking. So I don't have any, you know, to make any more. The first jar I bought off of Amazon of tomato powder because I wanted to see how it acted and how it tasted. And it's amazing. You know, you can make a little bit of pizza sauce or anything like for one pizza with your tomato powder and I didn't get this myself. I watched Mrs. Wolfe on Our Half Acre Homestead. I do watch different people to learn different things, but when she done her tomato powder, she just said you can take like a couple tablespoons and make enough for your own pizza and stuff. So that's basically what I want. I want to make my own. Like if I'm out of tomato paste, I want to make tomato paste and stuff. So that's what I want it for. And then I think I'm going to do it about this thick. And I didn't know it either, but that lady, when she gets a deal on tomatoes, she just puts the whole bag and all in the freezer and then pours hot boiling water over them, and it cracks the skins. So, you know, it just all in the way you want to do it. But I'm just going to take my time and also pop some of the seeds out that's got a lot of seeds. And that's the good thing about Roma tomatoes, is you can pop the seeds out. So after I watched her once, I thought I gotta do me some tomatoes and have them powdered and regular. And I love tomatoes. That's one thing, you know, we do have in common is both love tomatoes. So how many out there loves tomatoes? Let's see here. The powder, well, with the powder, I didn't do a video because I had already bought some, and I did tell everybody on one of the things that I bought some powder. And then the other one was demonstrated, but not online, because I don't like to, this is a first for this. But like I said, I bought the powder first. Now, what I need to do, if you was to powder this, you dry this out in your dehydrator, and I'm going to just throw these in here so I can stack them later. And then you use a one of the jelly tubes, or whatever they call them, the jelly roll tubes for your dehydrator. And then you just pour that on there. You crush up your tomatoes and puree it, and then you pour it on there, and then you make the powder. So it's kind of a two-step deal. So in order for me to do a video, I'm going to have to get me one of them chopper, or whatever you call it. But the powder that I have now, the one jar is Amazon. I ordered it off Amazon. And then the other one's it's a tryout. So I have strawberries, cabbage, red peppers, green peppers, apples, broccoli, and celery. And the last thing I did was the celery and broccoli. And they look identical whenever you make them. I actually done the celery and the broccoli on trays together, and I had to taste it to tell the difference, because they look so much alike. And it's so funny because company came that day, and her husband, my friend's husband, when he walked in, he's like, what did Pam get herself into? Because it looks just like medical marijuana when you put it in the, when you put it in them little containers like I got it. He said, that's just like that, what it looks like. It comes in them little containers. I said, well, I can assure you that's broccoli. Do you want to taste it? And that's celery. Do you want to taste it? We had a little bit of a joke about that. He's wanting to know what I got myself into. So, just going to keep cutting these. And I've got a towel underneath that, because I knew it was going to be a little bit of a wet chore to do. But I'm just going to let these go on 135, because tomatoes is really a fruit. And I'm just going to let it dehydrate until they're real crisp. Cut that down a little bit. I'm going to try to keep them about all the same. Yes, it can be ground in a coffee spice grinder, or it can be ground in your, you know, them little bullet things that you make your shakes with, that turns upside down, and they're real fast. There, you can make the powder in them too, and it's probably better if you had one of them, because you would, the coffee grinder, you know, it would probably take a while in them little coffee grinders. But the woman I seen doing it was doing it in a coffee grinder. But I also seen someone else do it in one of them. I used to have one where I made my Vi shakes and stuff, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if my husband put it in the garage or what happened. And probably if, no, not if, but when I get something to make the powder again, it's not going to be one of them. It's not going to be a coffee grounder. It's going to be like one of them things, like a Ninja or something like that. So yeah, you can use a coffee grinder. I don't know what size. Mine was little, but I don't know what size they all come in, you know, the coffee grinders. But I am happy as a lark that I'm going to have these dehydrated out and have me some jarred tomatoes, dried tomatoes, to be able to throw in stuff. And then the powder, I'm happy to have it because of the making tomato paste. You can make tomato sauce with it. And that way I got it in a jar. Even though I had to order my first batch, I've got it to where I can make, you know, tomato sauce. Probably make, I think you can make tomato juice with it. But it still has some nutrition in it. Anyway, that's why I wanted tomatoes. And I was so tickled today when I got a deal on these. I'm just going to take some of them seeds out. Probably take them longer to dry. Maybe in there. And Amy, I was going to make a lemon cake, and I'm going to wait till tomorrow because I had to fix the guys a great big steer burger, so it kind of put me a little bit behind. And yeah, what she done with her tomatoes, and I never, sometimes you just never think of things, and then when they say it, it's like this aha moment. Vicky, I hope you do too. I was going to get me another, and I decided not to. I'm just going to go ahead and start, you know, practicing on stuff and making sure what I want to do and what I don't want to do. But tomatoes is an absolute something that I will do every year that I have. Because tomatoes is just something I love. And if I can take some of these tomatoes and throw them in some chili and stuff, that's what I want to do. Now, I did do the apples. Fiona told me how to do the apples, and I did eat a bunch of them. I still have some strawberries. And the cabbage, I'm really not sure. It's good, and it's dry and everything, but I'm not sure about it, because I heard someone say that you should blanch them first. And I didn't, because I didn't know. I didn't know to blanch a lot of things until after I did them. But the tomatoes, you don't have to, so I'm safe on these. But the reason why they say to blanch certain things is so it will hydrate back up good. Now, the celery and the broccoli was frozen. Any kind of frozen vegetable that you get out of the freezer section, you can dehydrate without blanching it. So if you want to do mixed vegetables or broccoli or any of that stuff, carrots, if you buy the frozen one, that gives you freezer space, and it takes a lot of them to do a jar. So I'm going to do some of them. And the broccoli was frozen that I did. And I got a big bag, a great big bag of them. And it's a little container. I got it on my Facebook page. It's just a little container. So, you can take a lot and make a little, and then it'll come back up to a lot. So that was funny. But I did. I got the frozen broccoli and did it. And then the celery I got fresh, so I blanched it. I got some boiling water, and then I put the celery in it. And then as soon as it came back up to boil, then I just took it out of there. And I put it in the dehydrator. It's okay to put it in your dehydrator while it's hot. And I only know this stuff from, watching other people and reading about it. I like to survey things a lot. Hi, Kristen. NutriBullet, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. A NutriBullet. That's what I seen the woman use. And see, how I found out the tomato, you do it that way, is I was looking last week. See, I'd always seen the tomatoes done in the coffee grinder. But last week I was looking for somebody that had done dehydrated cheese, because I got so much cheese and people gives me cheese. And I don't eat a whole lot of cheese. So I like cheese, but I thought, could I dehydrate that? Well, when I started watching them dehydrate it, they used one of them NutriBullets, like you said, Amy, to make cheese powder out of it. And I thought that would be a great thing to have, because you can make your macaroni and cheese. And I seen this woman, I don't know what her name was now, because I was just randomly looking. I seen this woman make cheese powder, and then she made her dehydrated broccoli from frozen broccoli. And what she did was she took the frozen broccoli and she put it in a little bowl, and she poured some hot water over it. There was so much water she poured in. And then she took the cheese powder and stirred it in the water first, and then put the broccoli in there, and she made one serving of broccoli cheese soup, and it was looked delicious. So that's the way she did it. And I thought, well, she used a NutriBullet, but the cheese, I hope I'm not confusing you all. Hi, Kristen, how are you? Thank you. I love them too, Christine Isabel, I love them. But the cheese, when you do, like, now Fiona said that processed isn't as fatty as the other, but mine is American and Swiss and all that. So, and it's real cheese slices. And what they had to do was you don't want to put it on high, because if you do, it's going to melt everything onto your stuff. But they put it on the lowest setting, the ones I seen. And they had to take a paper towel and get the oils off of it, because it's got a lot of oils in it. So they took the oils off of it, and then they had to pat it like a couple times to several times. And then when they get all the oil, it never gets it all out. And they stress that, I don't know how many times on that video, it never gets it all out. But if you put an oxygen absorber in it, then you can make your cheese powder. So a lot of it, was crunchy when they did it, but it takes a long time. But I thought, since I was going to be home, that I'd just get a few things dehydrated and stuff. I got to do a funeral thing for somebody next Tuesday. So I've got this week I could get a lot of that done. But they said not to put a lot of, like if I do certain things, not to put dairy in it. And I thought it was interesting. You can make mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes. Now, I thought that was really interesting. And dummy me, us rookies that don't know anything, I asked this question. I said, when you make your mashed potatoes, do you put your buttermilk in it? Duh. And they said, no dairy. Just take your potatoes and make them and mash them and put them on that one flat sheet and make it'll dry it out, and then you powder that and make mashed potatoes. And you have instant mashed potatoes just like in the store, only they probably taste better. So I thought that was interesting too. So I learn as I go. There is just things that I don't like to be without in the wintertime in case I can't get out, and tomatoes would be one of them. Definitely. Hi, Vi. Hi, Laura. I want to get me a Nesco electric canner. So bad. But I'm kind of holding off on that. My husband looked at me last night and he goes, "Are you going to do any more canning?" I said, "Well, I don't think so unless I get a Nesco." He said, "Well, can I take your jars, all the jars you got, and put them with the rest of them you have back in the garage?" Well, that told me that I probably wasn't going to get that Nesco canner real quick. But usually I can get what I want, you know. But I told him, I said, go ahead and put them in the garage, because I'm not sure on that yet. And I talked to my sister and my mother. My mother is 90. And I have an older sister. And they're going to come down, I think it's November the 11th. And we're going to take the whole day and make pumpkin rolls. That's all we're going to make. We're just going to whip them out. We're going to have somebody stationed at the sink to do my dishes, which will not be me because I got to do the cooking. But we're going to have my husband involved. He's going to help, and then my sister, she'll be helping. She's getting a lot of the ingredients now before we do this. So we're going to have a good time. We're just going to make pumpkin rolls. And one thing you can do with them that I absolutely love is put them in the freezer. And when you put them in the freezer, and you've probably done it yourself, I eat them frozen. I cut me off a slice and eat it frozen, just like that cream cheese's ice cream. They are delicious. And my mom, she's already said how many she wants. So we're not going to be making 5 or 6 of them. We're probably going to be making 25 of them. Because this is what she likes. You know, she likes the pumpkin rolls, and she loves to have a bunch. She likes to have some herself, and then she likes to bless her pastor with one, and sometimes I'll cut some of them in half if there's an older couple or something she wants to bless, because, you know, it's not likely they're going to eat a bunch of it unless they're my mom. She loves that stuff. She doesn't have sugar, and she's 90 years old. She's got candy in her house. She loves Hershey's. She likes Klondike bars. She said nobody's going to take her sweets away from her. She eats well. I mean, she's a pretty healthy eater, except for all that candy. It must be doing her good. But every time I go up there, every room that I go in, except the bathroom, has a candy dish. Froze what? The tomatoes or the pumpkin rolls? The pumpkin rolls, Shirley? Hi, Buffy. How are you? If you've never froze a pumpkin roll, please do. It's going to keep for a long time, and you can take it out and cut you a piece off, wrap it back up, and put it in the freezer. And it's going to last you a long time if you don't eat it all. I've got a cookie or a pumpkin roll recipe that I use, and it's really easy, Kristen. And the thing I suggest, though, before you start, get all your ingredients out you're going to use, and get your parchment paper onto your pans, your cookie pans. So you can do that and get that ready. And then I have my mixer ready, and I got all my cans of pumpkin and all my spices. And then what I do is I put the eggs in, because if you want to make pumpkin rolls, when you do your eggs, you let them mix for 5 minutes. The first one's hard to get started because you got to wait 5 minutes. But after you start, then you can get on a routine. And but that's going to make it help that to roll and make it fluffier. So that's what I do. And I get all my ingredients out ahead of time. Set it on the counters, the tables, and I make room on a table so I can take them out of the oven and put the other one in. And I have one, or I'll put 1 or 2 in, and then I'll have 1 or 2 waiting to go in at all times, and just keep, then I always use a lot of paper towels. You can use your towels, dish towels, but I use paper towels to roll them up. It's just so much easier, because when I do the powdered sugar and all that, I always put powdered sugar on the towel before I roll it up. All that stuff. I mean, we're going to be demonstrating some of that. Probably demonstrate the whole deal of making them on the 11th. I did it one other time, but I didn't keep it. Didn't keep the live. And I'll tell you, when it comes that time of year, I get in the mood to do that stuff. That's the one time of year I like to listen to. Mom will listen to, like, Conway Twitty and all them, because she likes them. And she kind of likes, bebopping around a little bit with that. But around Christmas time, I like to listen to the old rock Christmas songs, the old ones. Like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. So, I'm babbling, ain't I? Yeah, it's going to be November the 11th. We finally got a date last night. I told them to talk it over, and I'll set that day aside. You want to set time aside, for your moms and stuff like that. Well, this don't look too good to me. I don't know about that. I think it's just the seeds were kind of... It just... Them don't look right to me. Can you see them? The seeds are kind of green. Should I not put them in there? You take them out, it looks all right. We'll have a good time. I remember one time I laughed so hard when we done a live, because Mom was over there bebopping, and she was making turkey roll-ups with cheese in it for us to have as a snack. And I was watching her, and next thing I know, when I was looked down in my mixer bowl, it had a can lid in it. So you know what I had to do with that? And we laughed. I said, how in the world did that can lid get down in that bowl? We'd already made like 6 or 7 of them. And there it was. It was, well, it was in the one that I was making at the time. So, you know, we have fun. And then Tom, my husband, he comes in with us girls and helps us out. And him and Mom does the cleanup because she likes to clean up better than cook. Mom's always been a avid cleaner. She always liked cleaning. She cleaned people's houses and she decorated their houses, so she does that part. I just took the seeds out because they're kind of, you know, really wet, and I don't want that to be in there. So I'll get these started. We'll see what, at the end, we'll see what we got. And it's going to take a while. It's probably going to take about 24 hours maybe. But that's the one good thing about, see, I've got a good bowl started. Good thing about dehydrating, you just turn that thing on and let it go. And my fan's on the top. It's not on the back or the bottom, it's on top. So I can always rotate things up there, you know. Okay, Laura, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, we're going to do a show on it. I've got a tripod, and I'll stick the camera on a tripod. You're going to get the whole deal. I mean, us laughing or talking about it or amongst ourselves or whatever, you'll just see the whole deal of it. But you'll see me demonstrating how to do them. And I told them, I said, we don't want to wait too long. Because Thanksgiving, you know, it's coming right up on us. And with my mom having to go to the doctor and, you know, get her heart checked and all that stuff, we're going to, she decided on the 11th, so that'd be good. That'll be in enough time where we'll have them done and in the freezer. And my sister, she's going to bring some of her ambrosia fudge. I think you call it that. She makes it like she goes to, I don't know who that is. She goes to the Amish and she buys chocolate. I've got some of that on me. I felt it go through my top. That wet. Whew. Anyway, she takes peanut butter and that chocolate, and somehow she makes some really good fudge. And that's another thing I'll be making this year is fudge, and I'll be demonstrating that again. I mean, I've already got it demonstrated, but if there's any kind that you want to see, I can demonstrate it. My favorite of all the fudges, I like the chocolate mentha cream that I make. And then I like the one, I had a dream one night, 17 years ago. I had a dream. I love creamsicle. I love the taste of them little push-up creamsicles, and I was thinking about them. Well, that night I went to sleep and I had a dream. And all the ingredients came before my eyes. I was in a kitchen in that dream. So I got up the next day. I told my husband about it. I said, I'm going to go get them ingredients. So I went and got the ingredients, and I made it just like my dream said. And it was a big hit. And people told me, said, you should copyright that. And I'm like, I just didn't. We was thinking about it, but I didn't. I just didn't. I had a lot of grandbabies at that time. We were having grandbabies and all that, and I just didn't want to take the time to try to make a whole bunch. But it is a big hit. People just love it, and you wouldn't think, but it's really good. So I make a lot of different fudges. I'm known as the fudge lady to a lot of people. But now my favorite now is the nougat. The nougat fudge. I love them nougat candies. So now I make nougat fudge, and I love it. Do you see all that juice right there floating around? That's what I don't want in the dehydrator. That's why I'm taking it all out of there. Because really, Roma tomatoes has got a lot of meat to them. So if you take all you need is the meat if you're going to make something. So I'm just kind of flipping them out of there. And once you make the powder, you can make you some tomato sauce or juice or paste. But these are not going in powder. These ones I'm going to have, because they're Roma, I'm going to have them in a jar to throw into some things that I make. Good little path for you guys to see. Hi, Wendell. I did too, Amy. I loved them. Well, shoot, I used to take my grandkids up, and we'd walk to the gas station from this house, and we'd get dreamsicle push-ups and eat them on the way home. That was one of the things that we did. It was just kind of like, time with them. Take a walk, get a dreamsicle. Sometimes they want one of them great big long popsicle things in a bag. Oh yeah, I'd like to have one of them now, Amy. Whew. So you can put that fudge in the refrigerator. It'll sit out. I mean, it won't go soft on you. But if you put it in the refrigerator and it's cold, it's really good. The dreamsicle. And that's the reason why I called it dreamsicle instead of creamsicle. Because it was a dream. Believe me, the ingredients that I dreamed, I'd never, ever, ever, ever thought of it. That would do it. And that was 17 years ago. And I remember I made sugar. People loves my sugar cookies around these parts. And I made 38 dozen for the bank one time, myself. Boom. A friend asked me, do you want me to come and help you? I said, no, I can handle this. I had tables drawn out all over my big dining room down at the other house. And cookies everywhere. And every one of them had to be like a 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day is what it was. I got them all done. And then I wanted to kick myself for not letting them come and help me. But I've always been the type of person, I don't like to ask for help, even if somebody offers it. Okay, this is the last tomato. Hi, Diane. The tomato wasn't. You talking about the seeds, Amy? The tomato wasn't, but if you're talking about the seeds, they were. So we got all that done. Was you talking about the seeds, Amy? Okay, now I'm gonna put this back up on the platform. Justin, I am dehydrating some tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. I got a good deal on them today, and I'm dehydrating them so I can have them for this winter to throw in chili, vegetable soup, and all that. Now that's why I put this white thing down, so I could just clean up my mess. So here's the tomatoes, and I didn't get all the seeds out. But, you know, I want to get most of them out. But there's the bowl of tomatoes, and that made, I don't know how many trays that's going to make, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, I clean my trays every time I use it. I do. I clean the bottom every time I use it. So, let me get these down here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's fairly easy. Now, where is my little, I don't know where my little, I usually put a little red cup over this so it won't get down in the, now, I was told not to let everything touch each other, but really, I tried it because someone else said not to, so I didn't. I never worry about, like, when I first started, I put one here, one over here, one down here, and it had a lot of space. But when these get done, they're not gonna look like this. They're gonna be dry and shriveled and everything. So my celery, I just kind of laid it like this. Now you don't want it overlapping, but I'm telling you, if you can invest in a cheap dehydrator, I'd do it. And dehydrate some of your stuff, because like right now, there is a friend of ours that has a church, and he got apples, and he asked me the other day, he said, do you want some apples? I said, when I get time, I'll try to get them. So, you know, he was giving out a bunch of apples. That's something you can dehydrate. That's something that you can. That's something you can make pie fillings out of ahead of time. I still have 2 jars of pie filling I found today. No, it was yesterday I found them. Me and my husband was in the back, and I had 6 pint jars of apple butter left and 2 pint jars of apple pie filling that I canned. And then I had, it looked like spaghetti sauce that I had canned last year. I never really looked at it close enough to see if it was that or not. It really had to be, because that's all I canned in the tomatoes last year. So a dehydrator, you just kind of let things sit there like this. A lot of them, you know, they may overlap just a little bit. I'm trying to get them not to, but I might overlook, you know, them. And these are wet, but they're going to really dehydrate good. Okay, so here is what they look like on the dehydrator. Laid out like that. They're touching, but that's fine. They're not, it's not going to hurt them. So I'm going to put that on the bottom layer of my dehydrator. Like I said, the fan is on top. And Justin, what I made tonight for supper was great big steer burgers, homemade steer burgers. They've already ate them and went on their way. Now I stained this one up a little bit. I washed it, and I forget what I had on that and it stained it. So I think I'm just going to lay these out and try to make another tray. So, because it suggests that you use 3 trays instead of just 2. So I'll just lay these out a little less than the other one. And like I said, if you do broccoli or celery, make sure you taste it, because they look exactly alike. Now, I absolutely love Kroger's vegetables, their brand, mixed vegetables. So when I make it down to Kroger's, because we don't have one in Wellston anymore, I'm going to go ahead and buy a bunch of frozen mixed vegetables and then dehydrate them. Because I think you can do a bag for each tray, but I'm going to dehydrate them so that I will have them through the winter. And I won't have to drive 30 miles to get them, 25, 30 miles to get them. Okay, so there's a tray. I'm just going to leave that like that and do another tray. So you can see this one doesn't. Maybe I'll just take a few of them off of there. I want to make 3 trays. There's a second. And let's do a third. Just going to take these out by my hand, and it is really going to save you money to get a dehydrator. I'm serious. I mean, rest assured you got to spend money to get the thing, but you can pick them up about anywhere. People has dehydrators they want to get rid of. And that's a term, get rid of, meaning you could get one real cheap or given to you. With the way things are, you know, a lot more people are doing stuff like this. Okay, that's 3 trays. Let me put a couple of them over there. Of tomatoes. Now I'm just going to let these, I'll check them. Let these do all night. I don't think I have anything else I could use the 4th tray for that I could throw on there. Just trying to think if I had any mixed. Nah, the mixed vegetables will get done quicker. I think I'll just leave the 3 tomato. Boy, I wish I had another one. Another tray full. This is not going to make a whole lot, but it's going to make enough for some good soup. And then if you wanted to make tomato powder or something, it would make a lot of it, but you only have to use a little of it. So there's my, put anything over that's trying to overlap, I will put on the other tray here that has less on it. Just kind of move it around there a little bit, shuffle it to where they're laying down. I can't wait till these get done. I get them in the jar. I'm going to be so happy that I got tomatoes. I'll probably go get some more. But now, Mrs. Wolfie of our half-acre homestead, when I seen her pull out all them tomatoes that she froze because she got a deal on them, in the summertime, if they, at the end, when they want to start selling them tomatoes cheap and stuff, that's when to get them. If you have a freezer, put the whole sack in there. Don't do anything to them, but just put them in the freezer. And then get you out a pan like I got here. Okay, this is an old borscht pan, or you can use any kind. And then pour hot water over, and since them are froze, that skin will crack right away. Just crack, where you can just peel it right off. So that was a lot of information for me. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Susan. Sorry, I've been talking you guys' head off here. So, this is the fourth one. Now, tomorrow I'm going to be making a lemon cake. It's going to be a lemon candy cake. I've been thinking about it too long, and I'm going to do it. Local news today was talking about what the green. Are we back on the tomatoes or still on it? So here's all the good ones that had the good seeds that I took out. Now this is the top fan of my Nesco cooker. Yeah, and a trucker friend of ours, he's engaged to my best friend, and he, around here, he said there's going to be a shortage on flour, so buy some flour. Lord, what would us women do without our flour? So here's my dehydrator, and all I got to do, now this one does not have an on and off knob. It's just, you turn it to 135, it goes up to 160. It's got your little knob there that you turn it to your whatever you want. Line this up there. Off. And now all you got to do is just let that sit there and work them tomatoes for you. There's already, Amy, there's already a shortage of jars. My friend went in a store to buy me some jars because they're always out of town and I'm not. When he put a case of jars in his cart for me, he was going to get more, and a woman that works in the store came out and said, you can't buy any more of them. And he said, why not? She said, because we were ordered to put them away. He said, I'm going to buy the one I got in my cart because I already got it in there. And she loaded them things up and took them in the back. Oh yeah, they were green. I made them, The cookies, Amy, was green 4-leaf clovers. I bought a big 4-leaf clover cookie cutter, and I made green icing and put on them, and then I decorated it a little bit green here, you know, and there. And they were all green. And they tasted good. And what they did with them was they gave them out to their customers for St. Patrick's Day. They always gave away free coffee. And when they came in to do their business or whatever, you know, with the bank, they gave them a cookie, a free cookie. Wow. Ooh. They only let you order 3 pounds of butter? Oh my. I'm about to get a headache over that. I'm going to have to go out and get me some butter. I'd rather have my freezer for butter and stuff like that than anything else. You know, me, I can do without meat. But I like my butter and my flour and the staples to make things. When I lived in the cabin for 16 years, I always had my staples like flour, butter, sugar, things like that, because we made biscuits and gravy and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks Amy for letting me know that. Aldi's has got butter all the time for a certain price, my daughter said. So if she goes there, I'm going to have her load me up with some. I always buy it when it's on sale. And down here on certain Tuesdays, I'm not sure when, how often they have been doing it. They've done it like 3 or 4 times. They'll give boxes away free, and it'll have butter in it, chocolate milk, white milk, what else? Oh, cheese, stuff like that. And it's expensive stuff. And they'll give it away, and you're allowed to go in and get it. I never go in, but the only time I went in was one time, and I went and got a box because I was coming home that way. They gave me a box, and when I got home, I seen a box my daughter had already got me from the same place before she got home from work. So I backed out of the driveway, went back up there because it was only a couple blocks away. And I told them, I said, you know what, I did not see this box here. I said, you're going to have to take your box back. I said, I didn't even touch it. And they said, well, thank you. And they took it back for someone else because, you know, I didn't want to take that box in my house knowing it wasn't for me because I already had one. That's the only time I've ever went, you know. Usually people will go, and if they don't want what's in the box, they bring it to me and Tom. So there is no way we can drink all that chocolate milk and drink all that milk and stuff that they give and stuff. So, you know, it's really hard for 2 people. Oh, okay. Okay, the Land of Lakes. Maybe they know it's going to be kind of short on it, you know. I buy any kind that's on sale, as long as it's real butter. It's just whatever they have. I like that. I like Land of Lakes. It's usually $5 and something a pound down here. The Land of Lakes. What is that kind? Moo. It's Moo something. I kind of like it. You get it at Kroger's. It's pretty good. And I'll tell you what, I love the French butter. I had tasted the Irish, but that French butter you buy, it's expensive, but it tastes so good. Smooth, it's so good. Real butter. So I'm going to try to get me some of that just for my peanut butter and butter sandwiches I like once in a while. Wow. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to get more flour. I have about 15 pounds left. Maybe a little between 10 and 15 pounds left. And I'm going to try to use it up. I'm going to make some biscuits and some Hawaiian bread. And then I'm going to start with a fresh one, you know, come winter. And I'm going to buy the 25 pounds of sugar and flour like I get. Last year I didn't have to buy any because my niece went to Sam's Club and bought me 25 pounds of flour and 25 pounds of sugar out of nowhere. And then she blessed me with another 25 pounds of sugar and flour. So I've used it. I've had to buy more. That's how much I use of it. So I do have a list made. I was trying to think what else they said. Dr. Pepper was going to be another thing that was going to be scarce. I don't drink Dr. Pepper, but it was just one of the items they said would probably become scarce for some reason. So Dot Harris, if you see this post, buy you some Dr. Pepper and buy it up because it's supposed to go scarce. And I know how you love your Dr. Pepper. With me, if pop goes scarce, that's fine because up at the cabin I used to have like a gallon of water and I would boil it in an old pan, put sugar in it, and make a gallon of tea, and that's what we drank. We used to set it out in the wintertime, get it real cold, and drink it. Or water, set it out and get it real cold. Hi, Pam. We just dehydrating some tomatoes. I wished you could have seen in person them big old steer burgers I made the boys, my husband and my grandson. They were huge. We used Heiner's bread and it went over that. The hamburger did. The steer burger. So I'll get off of here, and I'm really glad to talk to y'all. I love every one of you. I'm so glad that you guys do get on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. Yeah, that's what I do, Amy. You know, we do the regular. Make sure the snow, when it snows, it's not yellow. We make snow ice cream. We always did stuff like that when we were poor at the cabin. We're not much better now that we're better off. Okay, but we lived 16 years. You know how we lived. It didn't have anything. Any kind of resource you could do, you did. And snow ice cream was one of the things that they loved. Berry cobblers and all that good stuff. So, anyway, I will get off of here. How you doing, Pam? I hope you're doing really good. And what time is it? It is 7:30 and it seems like it's 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get off of here and clean up my mess because I made the mess. Let my tomatoes dehydrate all night while I'm sleeping. And I've got all my towels and wash rags up and folded. So I'm going to find me a nightgown. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find me a nightgown somewhere in this house after I clean my mess up. I hope you all have a great evening, and no yellow. No yellow? What's that mean, Amy? Because I forget sometimes what I'm even talking about. You too, Susan. You have a wonderful night. So good to see you guys. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. The fact that you come on. So, Amy, no yellow snow. Yeah. No, that's what I said. No yellow. One time, Amy, I gotta tell you this before I get off here. I made snow ice cream, and we made sure it wasn't yellow. We always made sure there was no bird pee or anything like that in it. My daughter, she had a little bowl full of the snow ice cream. I always put cocoa, vanilla, and milk in it. And I think this year I'm going to put heavy cream in it, if we make it. But she had this little cricket leg or something in it. And she said, Mommy, she was little. She said, what is this? And I looked at that, and it was either a cricket leg or some kind of spider leg or something. I don't know what it was. Hi, Bev. I don't know what it was in that snow ice cream that we made. It was as white as it could be, but that little leg was black. She said, what is this, Mommy? And I took it from her. I said, well, Sissy, I don't know what this is, but you ain't eating it. You're not eating it. And so I went in and I checked every bit of that snow ice cream. The vanilla was what was white, and she had some of the vanilla, and it had that little black leg in it. And now, yeah, every time we talk about making snow ice cream as a tradition, she reminds me and I remind her of that little black leg, that little tiny, skinny, little black spider or cricket leg or something in it that came from outside. Thank you, Susan. You guys are my friend. You guys are my friends. I mean, you know, a lot of times I have to stay here at the house and stuff, and just having you guys as friends, you know, really. And even when I go somewhere, I know that I can share whatever I'm doing with you. You know, I didn't do any Chopped in the motel this time because we didn't stay. We only stayed one night. We didn't have to stay 2 nights. So anyway, it was really, I really appreciate you all. I know, Amy. I know it was a horrible experience for a little girl. And, you know, we just really, how it got in there without me seeing it, I don't know. But it was in there. I don't know. The thing of it is, Amy, I don't know where the rest of that was. That's the thing that got me. Was, Sissy, you're not eating this because it's got a leg in it. In the back of my heart, I was thinking, where's the rest of that thing that got in there? Did somebody eat it without knowing it? Or did I just scoop up a leg or what? But I can tell you this. I am very, 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 very particular about what snow I use. But we didn't do it last year. We just didn't do it. We never thought about it, you know. But yeah, if you make snow ice cream, no yellow, check for little tiny skinny black legs or anything like that. Anything. So yeah, Amy, I was like sick in my heart for a long time because I didn't know if one of the kids had ate the rest of that bug without, you know how kids will. So check out your snow before you make it. Of course, my husband says you shouldn't make it anyway because they're putting stuff in the air. So anyway, God bless you all. I love you all, and have a good night. And if you come up with anything, you know, that we can do together online, Remember, on November 11th is when we're going to be making the pumpkin rolls. So, or pumpkin logs, whatever you want to call them. So God bless you. I'll see you the next time.